So today we're going to be talking about council tax. Is it the biggest scam going in the UK at the moment? I definitely ain't nice seeing like a £200 extra a month coming out of your account when you have to pay council tax. And it feels like a lot of the services are getting worse, especially outside London. Now, as someone who lives in London, the services are okay. I mean, they always take out rubbish every week. Seems pretty good. I never had any issues with stuff like that. I don't use public libraries and stuff, although most of the ones in my area that were there growing up are still there. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok in general on social media complaining that their bin service is terrible. Everything is getting worse and their council tax is not changing or it's going up. In fact, council tax has gone up, and it's very interesting the way they try to enforce council tax as well, because we had a council tax bill. The way they pursue you is crazy. The passive aggressive nature of some of the letters they send you, and you sort it out. You call them, you sort it out, or you fill the letter out, do what they need, and then they still don't file it properly, or it's like they start sending you more letters saying you didn't sort it, or I still got, you owe this, and it's like, brother, I sorted this out. Why are you still hassling me? Ladies and gentlemen, you guys let me know what you think of council tax. If there's anything else you want me to cover, leave it in the comments below. But without further ado, we're going to get into some of these TikToks.
So you can prove that council tax is a scam just by the methods that they use. So you don't pay your council tax, 1 week turns into 2 weeks, turns into a couple of months. They start sending you letters. Maybe you're not communicating with them. Maybe you are writing to them on where you stand in relation to that.
Now, I will say, this is what I mentioned. Like, they will start sending you passive aggressive messages. Like, some of the letters, like, you just assume that it's not a government entity sending you. It's almost like a fucking loan shark the way they send the letters, right? And I guess it's meant to be sent in a threatening way to intimidate you into paying, but it is just not nice. You know what I mean? Like, you'd expect it to be a little bit nicer. Like he said, sometimes you could be actively communicating with these people, explaining it, updating your circumstances, and then they still don't fucking sort it out, or are still not sorted out. And like I said, a lot of people are struggling with cost of living. Council tax is very expensive.
If council tax was if it was a legitimate tax that was enforceable, then we would all go to court for not paying it.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's enforceable, guys. It's enforceable. They can send bailiffs. They could probably do like someone you to court to pay it, right? Like, it's a legitimate debt. Don't fuck around with the government's money, bro. Don't ever do that shit. Like, is this guy gonna say you don't have to pay it now? Because yeah, I mean, you have to pay council tax, guys. You can't just leave it there and be like, yo, I'm not gonna pay this because it's a scam. That's not how it works.
But that isn't what happens, you see. What they do is they threaten you with court. They say you're going to go to court, you're going to get a CCJ, this is going to happen. But if you know how to write documents, you can let them know empirically where you stand in relation to council tax. This is what I believe, this is what I think, this is what I'm willing to pay, this is what I'm not willing to pay, thank you so much. Clear, precise. All they can do is sell your debt that they made up. Remember, they created the debt, the council. So they're like,
What's your this guy just waffling, bro? Like, look, council tax, I think it's legitimate. Whether you think it's a scam or not, or whether you think it needs to be updated, it definitely needs to be updated. But you can't just go and say, well, I'm willing to pay you £100 a month and you want 300. Like, you can't do that, brother. You can't just write a document and be like, yeah, I'm willing to pay this. I'm willing to do this. That is absolutely insane advice. Don't listen to people on TikTok's legal advice, by the way, because it will mess you up. Basically, he's going to go on to say that they sell the debt to the bailiff. Now the bailiff has the debt and the bailiff will try to enforce it on you, and then you don't have to pay them. The bailiff will have to pay it. You could just dodge bailiffs. If any of you have ever seen that show, Can't Pay, Take It Away, bailiffs are ruthless, bro. They're ruthless. They'll show up to your house. I mean, yeah, they can't force entry, but trust me, you leave a door unlocked, you leave a window unlocked, they'll climb through that shit, bro. And then they're in your house, they'll start taking your stuff. I mean, it's not worth all the headache. You can see even some of the comments here. Yeah? Someone saying they're deducting the wages. I mean, yeah, of course they can do that. It's the government. Someone saying they almost went to prison for not trying to pay council tax. Guys, yeah, exactly. You could probably end up in jail for not paying this. So don't listen to people on TikTok trying to give you legal advice, all right? Or Instagram, whatever it is. Unless it's an actual lawyer, don't listen to them.
Why are you fucking taking more money off of me and doing less? We put our garden waste out for the council to take away a couple of weeks ago there. They didn't take it away, and there was a sticker on it saying, oh, by the way, you need to go to this website now and pay for us. We're now charging for you to take away garden waste. And I'm like, what do you mean you're now charging? Don't fucking start that shit. Don't fucking... Oh, we're now charging. As if before we did it for free and we know... No. We were always fucking paying for it. It's called council tax. What's next? What are you going to do next? You're still going to charge... So has my council tax come down? No, is the answer to that question. Has it gone up? Yes, is the answer to that question. Why are you fucking taking more money off of me and doing less? Everyone up and down the country is saying the exact same fucking thing. What the fuck is going on?
I mean, eloquently put from fucking Jay from the In-Betweeners there, bro. Like, Literally, it feels like council tax is going up and they're not increasing your services, right? You can say, well, it's inflation, whatever it may be, man. Look, there are certain things they won't do anymore for sure. And he's saying they won't take garden waste, you have to go here. It's just a matter of time before a lot of the services are cut, right? Like, it's just a matter of time before they go from 1 a week service to 2 a week bin service, or now you have to pay to get recycling taken away, or whatever it may be. Like, it's going to increase costs. They just want to make more money, or they just want to. It's probably essentially the government wants to stop paying as much money for the services. That's probably what it is.
I pay £320 a month in council tax, and the bin men this month have refused to take my recycling because there's a cardboard box in it. We've had another.
You know how crazy that is that he pays £320 a month? Boy, that could be that could be a car, bro. Like, that's insane. That's insane money, guys. It's just mad the amount of taxes that we have to pay in this country, bro. Every little thing is taxed. And there's a comment right here, I'll show you guys. Council tax, road tax, income tax, VAT, inheritance, corporate, and petrol tax. Everything is taxed in the UK, bro. Every single thing is taxed.
Another letter saying if we want our green bin collected over summer, it's going to be an extra 20 quid a month. Every single government service in this country is absolutely shit. There's not one good thing, and the solution for most people in this country is still to tax us even more. People already paying 40-50% tax is not enough. Now if we just squeeze an extra 10-20% from everybody, somehow we're going to form into some British utopia. I really feel like this country is close to breaking point. There's just constant tax everywhere.
I mean, he's not wrong with the taxes, bro. That is insane council tax money, and if you're not getting the full services, then bro, like, yeah, they're gonna start doing the add-ons, bro, like fucking in-app purchases. You need now to pay extra for this bin and extra for this service, extra for this. Like, it's gonna go there eventually.
My mate Bob hasn't paid council tax in 3 years and nothing's happened to him. If council tax is legally required, explain that. All right, I will do. But first, let's explain what's going on here. 48 hours ago, I put out a video aimed at all those people who claim that council tax is not legally required, which, spoiler alert, it is. But it was aimed at those people who claim it's not legally required. My challenge is very simple, and I started with an assumption. My assumption is you are correct. There's no legal requirement for council tax. I'm agreeing with you. I'm not seeking an argument. And the reason I'm agreeing with you is I currently pay £4,500 per year for fortnightly bin collections. So if anyone was a prime candidate to want this to be true, it's me.
That's crazy money, by the way. When you say 4,500, Jesus Christ, and he doesn't even get bins every week. It would be interesting though. Like, wouldn't there surely be a way to opt out of it if you don't want the services? Like, maybe if you want to just take your rubbish somewhere by yourself or whatever, like, you don't get to use the public services, but then you opt out of the money.
However, I have certain conditions because I'm a professional. I have a grown-up job. I would like to do this properly. So for me, that means either a law firm or a tax advisor. And my thinking's very simple on this. You see, if what you're claiming is true, which we've agreed it is, we are agreeing that there is no basis in law for council tax to be paid. That's what we're agreeing. Well, in that case, law firms are going to know that, as are tax advisors. Not only do they know that, but they will be happy to help people like me who will pay for such a service to step away from and to pay council tax. So I asked so far 400,000 views, thousands of views of comments to tell me one law firm, one tax advisor, and to date, not one. You've given.
I mean, that's just how it is, really, bro. Like we saw from the guy earlier, it's mostly people probably just grifting, trying to, I don't know, get views or something. Maybe they got away with it, you know what I mean? Like, some people do slip through the cracks in these situations and, you know, get views. Sometimes they even may be selling a course or something on how to do it, you know what I mean? So if you want to be a conspiracy theorist and potentially end up in jail for not paying council tax, it is what it is, right? I mean, unfortunately, it's one of those costs you have to eat. And maybe one day it won't be like that, but unfortunately, it's kind of how it is.
You've given me anecdotal stories of Bob down the pub, of a Facebook group. You've given me dodgy looking websites. You've given me booklets I can download. With much respect to all those people, that's not what I'm asking for. You are making an extraordinary claim. You're claiming that it is not a legal requirement. Well, law firms will know that then. So find me a law firm who will say, yes, that's absolutely correct. I will pay them for it. I'm not asking for a freebie, or a tax advisor. And here's the reason why you can't do this. You see, if we think of people like those who claim to contact the dead, or people who claim to move things with the power of their brain, or read minds. Now, there's a firm belief in this country that all those things are true. And if you believe them, that's fine. However, not one single person who believes those things has ever been able to reproduce those effects in a laboratory-style condition. And for me, the council tax question is exactly the same. If you can't find a legal or tax-based professional who can confirm your extraordinary claim, that's all you have. You have a story. It's a great story. It's lovely. It's aspirational, but it's not true.
I don't think anyone likes paying council tax. Unfortunately, it's just a way of life. But let's move on.
Council tax is actually the hardest one, I feel. The issue with council tax is you've got to pay it. Council tax are your biggest must pay things. Rent, because you have to keep a fucking roof over your head. You can't be seen to make yourself intentionally homeless. And council tax, because they have direct access to the court and can get bailiffs out. There are very rarely companies who can get bailiffs. Council tax is one of them. There are, however, a couple of things available. If you're a single person, you can get a single person discount. If you're on universal credit, low income universal credit, I think you can get them to contact council tax and they can make adjustments.
Let's talk about this real quick. So yeah, she's right. It's a must pay. You know, they can get bailiffs to come to you. Sure. In terms of the single person discount, you can get a discount. I think students pay no council tax. There are certain requirements where you don't pay any or you get a discount for sure. Universal credit though, I'm not 100% sure you get a full discount. I know somebody who was on universal credit and they didn't get a full discount on council tax, which is mad that they will still have to pay council tax, by the way.
If you have a serious disability, you can apply for a discount, but that isn't based on whether you receive a benefit. That is based
I love how it says you can apply. Poor disabled people, bro, they still gotta deal with it, even if they don't earn a lot of money.
on your specific disability. I don't think there is any help if you have a disabled child, but I could be wrong. But your best bet is to ring up your council, say you can't pay, you haven't got the fucking money, and see what they've got to help, because each council's going to be different. They've got money in a pot, it's just how they decide to give out that money.
And there you go. Some actually good advice on how to maybe pay less council tax, guys. Like, obviously, most people won't be able to get out of it, but there is ways you can maybe lower the bill or get a discount, and it's probably just contacting the council and dealing with it that way, because there's no way any of these weirdos who are scheming and telling you don't need to pay are being truthful.
This video is the perfect example. I do these TikTok videos and I do my YouTube videos to hopefully help prevent people from having their cars taken away, their houses taken away in some cases, huge amounts of money and interest, and in many cases being made bankrupt because they refuse to pay their council tax because of dumb ideas like this. So before I get into the video, do me a favor, just tag TikTok in the comments section, because I'm on a mission to get my account verified. I get so many impersonators and fraudsters, and I would love for my account here to be verified. But apparently I don't have enough followers. So drop me a follow and please tag TikTok in the comments. But in the meantime, while you do that, let's get into the video. I'm not going to play all of it, just a couple of portions here. This is the first portion.
What you want to do is you send them a letter, ask them a question like, where's my show? I want to see my contract with you, and until I get that information, I'm not paying. But I will pay once you give me that information. They haven't got the information because they haven't got a contract, so.
So working in reverse, at the very end, she says they can't give you that information because they haven't got a contract. That's the only correct thing that she said. There is no contract. Council tax liability, whether you agree with it or not, this is not a debate from me as to whether I agree with council tax and whether it's right or not and that sort of stuff. This is about the law. The only thing she said that's right is that there is no contract, because it doesn't arise out of a contractual liability. It arises as a statutory liability.
So, I mean, there you have a actual barrister or lawyer talking about it, guys. So, like I said, if you want council tax advice, listen to people like this, yeah? Don't listen to fucking John or Martha or whoever the fuck this woman is here saying some bullshit about council tax, yeah? Because the reality is, it's a payment. Yes, you don't sign a contract, bro. In many cases, you don't sign a contract for a lot of things, unless you're actually coming out here taking out, you know, a loan or a mortgage or whatever. These are services that are paid, you know what I mean?
Under the Local Government Finance Act. Now, it is a liability to pay it. It arises automatically when the dwelling, the house, has been deemed one that needs to pay council tax. The people within it, in a certain hierarchy within that piece of legislation, are liable, hence liability, clue is in the name, to pay the council tax. But then when she says these people genuinely believe that it needs to arise out of a contract, which is fundamentally untrue. So when she's encouraging other people as though she fully understands what's going on and says, write to the council and ask for the contract and say, I'm not paying you until you give me the contract, but then acknowledges it that they can't give it to you because it doesn't exist. This is why lots of people end up being made bankrupt. Council tax, non-payment, deliberate non-payment is one of the quickest ways to...
There you go. Not paying your council tax is a very fast way to go bankrupt. Who knew? Who knew not paying the government money was a great way to ruin your finances and ruin your life, essentially. Mad that some people are just absolutely lost. And it's these conspiracy theorists, really. Like, I remember I was watching a Jubilee video about, I think it was Dr. Mike, one of the biggest YouTube doctors, millions of subscribers, and he's going against 20 anti-vaxxers, right? And then you just have people coming on there absolutely speaking nonsense, right? Speaking like, I do my own research. This guy's a fucking doctor. He's a doctor. You know what I mean? But it's just weird. People don't want to trust authority. I don't know if they want to be different. I don't know if they're brain broken. I don't know what exactly it is, bro. But there was one woman on there who, you know, I don't know what was wrong with her. Maybe she was a bit cracked out. Who knows? But she was like, I've done my own research. Imagine saying that to a doctor, bro. Mad. Man went through 10 years of study. And you think you know more than him on vaccines because you read a few papers and you probably watched a few Alex Jones videos. Crazy work.
What is council tax for, and are you exempt from paying it? So council tax is a fee that you have to pay that goes towards your local services. Some examples are police and fire services, educational services and libraries, just to name a few. The amount of council tax you pay depends on the valuation band that your property falls into and how much funding your local council requires. If you fall into one of these categories, you might be exempt from paying council tax. If you live in a property where all the people living in it are full-time students at college or university, you don't have to pay council tax. You don't have to pay if you live in a condemned property. If you live in a property...
A condemned property? You can live in a condemned property? I didn't even know that.
That's been legally repossessed by a mortgage lender, you don't have to pay. If you have a property that you no longer occupy because you had to move out to care for someone, you don't have to pay either. If you have a property that you had to move out of because you needed care from a hospital, a care home or a relative, you don't have to pay either. And you don't have to pay if you live in a property where all the people living in it are under 18 years old.
That's the thing. I didn't even know people under 18 could all move in together. I thought you would have to have an adult or something.
For more detailed and in-depth information, either head to the Gov website or...
So there you go. I mean, not many exemptions. Like I said, if you want to be exempt from council tax, you're not in any of those things. I mean, unfortunate. And I bet there is a harsh burden of proof on you. Like, let's say you did have the hospital stay. I mean, they're probably going to want a lot of paperwork for that. They're going to want to prove you're a student, although student finance is a government thing, so they could probably see if you're getting that. But yeah, let's watch one more TikTok.
I was under the impression that because I wasn't living in the house is basically a building site, there's no furniture. It's unlivable. We're having a lot of work like the plumbing, the electrics, we've had a wall knocked through. I was under the impression that I didn't have to pay council tax, or at least I would have a percentage of council tax taken off. Maybe it differs between different councils, but I'm under Salford Council. Even if you're doing a full renovation, even if the house isn't livable, you still have to pay full council tax, and that something ridiculous, like maybe I've read it wrong, but something saying if you have a house and you haven't lived there in over a year, you have to pay double council tax. So we best hurry up and start renovating this house. I don't know if it's going to be completely done in a year. I'm hoping that we're going to be moved in by October. We're not putting a time frame on it though, we're just going to go with the flow and hope that things get done in time for Christmas at least. I think that the council tax rule does differ per council. A few people in my comments were saying that when they were renovating their house, they didn't have to pay council tax, or they got like a 50% discount taken off, so they weren't paying the full thing. But apparently no. I mean, I've sent off the application but they haven't got back to me, and they've sent me a bill of everything that I owe. I think it's £180 this month.
So there you go. I mean, is that not technically a condemned property like we saw in the last one? I mean, it has no furniture, it's not really livable. So I guess there are some comments here saying that, you know, you could contact your council and probably get some exemptions and discounts. I would assume that's correct, but I am also going to assume that some councils have very different rules on it. So there'll be certain things you'll be exempt from some councils and some you wouldn't. But yeah, overall, today we've seen some very interesting takes on council tax. Do I still think it's somewhat of a scam? Yes. I do think sometimes we do not necessarily get the services provided, and especially in some places in the UK, especially if you're getting twice a week bid service. To me, that's a bit mad. Yeah, I do think there needs to be some kind of revision that certain places council tax should be lower. They should probably do a whole revision on the valuations of houses and do that. Will they do that? Probably not. But like I said, don't listen to any of these grifters who are trying to tell you you don't need to pay council tax. You can get away with it doing this. We've seen actual lawyers and experts here today debunk that shit. But yeah, do I like paying council tax? No. Do I want to? No. Is it a requirement? Unfortunately, yes. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you today. I'll see you all in the next one.